Senza is a good YouTuber, and most of his comedy pack a heaping load of gay jokes. Today I'll be parodying his videos in the SKYRIM challenge, which I do not really have the will to do. My friend Weenie here does a pretty good job of making his videos, but he doesn't make parodies. Here's a step-by-step on how to be Senza. Step 1. Talk in a low, monotone voice. To sound serious, but say some really absurd things. Step 2. Hide your face for some reason with a mask of your own profile picture. Step 3. Use a lot of memes on the internet and make some sort of connection with the meme in the video, like a green screen, or just make fun of Tyler 1. Step 4. Make a lot of gay jokes. A lot of gay jokes, even though for some reason he has a girlfriend. Step 5. Get a girlfriend. Step 6. Pick some random person that is a channel member and name yourself after them, acting like you care and don't just want money. Step 7. Beat a game with some weird absurd setback. Step 8. Struggle with playing the game, then find a comment that makes a joke about child perspective of domestic abuse and use it in an operation, in which you give a strategy to your viewers on how to beat a specific part of the game. Step 9. Talk about body pillows, specifically Ellie from Borderlands. Step 10. If you have a controller, tape it to hot dogs. Step 11. Refer to your enemies as SIMPS and say that they wanted to get in your DMs. Step 12. Act like your video is about a hero's journey. Step 13. Call your audience CUTIES. Step 14. If you mess up and go against the challenge, waste your money on 2 gift cards and put them on the screen with codes on them for your fans, even though that one person will get it. Step 15. More gay jokes. Step 16. Put the same music throughout the video that I cannot find, so just use GERUDO Valley like he did in that one Spider-Man one. Step 17. Edit the video with a lot of memes. Just take days adding memes. Doesn't matter. Step 18. Make an outro where you talk about hearting a comment if they say something specific. Step 19. Take someone's fan art and put it in your thumbnail. For my sake, I'll just Photoshop my PFP into his thumbnail and call it a day. Also use color gradient for the background. Put the title in it, and you've got yourself Senza's thumbnails. Step 20. Put your entire script in the description. In this video, I don't really mean to be mean. Just like for some reason everybody said I would put Sam into a midlife crisis. I mean, that's cool as hell, but this guy isn't old enough for a midlife crisis. So this video isn't meant to be as insulting as the general Sam one. If you followed all my steps, you are now Senza. Good job. Here's the end product for my Senza video. SKYRIM is a great game to play and a classic nowadays. It came out with a DLC called Dragonborn, where you can go to an island and have a fever dream about books. Today I'm going to ask the question, can you beat SKYRIM Dragonborn DLC with some absurd setback? Our first setback is, can you beat it with a wooden sword? So just pretend this PNG here is a wooden sword. The DLC is very short, but I don't have the will to beat SKYRIM again, so I'm just gonna go the lazy way. We start this off by naming my character Yo Mama, an amazing Chad who spends money to watch the videos I make for free. To get to Solstheim, you have to walk all the way to Windhelm's dock. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Just fast travel there. Before we go to Solstheim, we need to get the most epic gamer, Arender. The one and only who helped us free the people of Dawnstar in the land of fever dreams. This DLC is full of them, and as we know, Arender is the master of dreams. You get there, and at Raven Rock, the people are acting really weird, just like that time I pooped my pants in grade school. The quest markers showed me where to go, and my journey there, I can say safely, it was like driving through West Detroit. I finally got to the Temple of Merak and found Freya or something, and she saw I was in need of step 5, so she followed me along and helped me kill the Draugr with her ook me caveman voice. Arender decided he'd sit back for this one and just take a break from telling me to be careful of traps. We got further and further into the cave, and Freya told me she thought this might be the end of the cave. That was a wise decision. But wait, what? It still goes on? How unpredictable. Great job, Todd Howard. This is amazing. We continue to fight Draugr and karate clap their butt cheeks. They died almost instantly to my amazing wooden sword here that has a glitch where it doesn't move. It took me about 1 hour getting past these scalpers who were trying to sell my hot Gucci drip. Me and Freya finally got to the end, and we discovered Merak is a huge nerd who probably told the teacher on me for saying dick in 3rd grade. I read his book that was titled Homework, but probably wasn't homework, and I was teleported into a Bob's Burgers fever dream and woke up with a new challenge for me. Today, we will be asking the question, can you beat SKYRIM with a Guitar Hero controller? I filmed myself standing still for 5 seconds, looped it, and put a PNG of the controller in my hands. That's it, and I did nothing else. My will to do things is a joke. I slowly walked over to the Skull Village. They told me where to find the Bend Will shout that will finally make women love me. I went over to the Elder Dragon and said that he wasn't worth my time, and got the Bend Will shout and left him. just like my dad. I went back to the Skull Village and used the Ben Will shout on their stone to make it go away. Once it was broken, I non-consensually clapped the ass cheeks of the lurker with my Guitar Hero PNG. The man in the Skull Village told me where I could get a Dark Elves OnlyFans page, and off I went to look for him. Me and Arender got to this man that had ears bigger than his head. He told us where we could find the nearest homework folder, and off we were, to the Dwemer ruins. I contracted an STD upon arriving because I attacked some bandits, and it got a little weird. We went into the Dwarven ruin and found that the homework folder was so packed full of homework that it needed to be locked away. Dark Elf Man decided that we needed to connect some pipes in order to run the folder as administrator. There was one problem though. The pipes needed to be turned on with cubes, and I was specifically told not to put them inside my asshole.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
The cubes were underwater, and we had to get them in order to get to the folder. We encountered some powerful Discord bots such as Me6, Dino, and Groovy, but they were easy to take on until we reached the Dank Memer, which had the power to post funny Reddit images with a reaction image that tells you how to react. The worst part about Dank Memer is that he himself had a wholesome level of 100 and was epic and based. Me, Arender, and Dark Elf Guy defeated him pretty quickly, but I still think there is some racial tension between me and Dark Elf Guy because he did more damage to me than Dank Memer bot. We acquired all the cubes and stuck them inside the pipes. The pipes being on let us enter as administrator and look at the homework folder. A single glance of the homework folder sent me into another dimension. I went back to the nerd dimension and found more simps looking to get in my DMs. Hermaeus Moore decided he was ready for some tentacle slapping. In today's day and age, that is a sexual act, so I censor these horrible things. I made my way through nerds one by one, and I can prove they were nerds because they dropped books. So I karate clapped their asses and sent them back to a tier 1 sub. I kept walking around, being forced to look in more homework folders and going through more doors. This place was weirder than Rock Bottom from that one SpongeBob episode, except they didn't have any gender-neutral bathrooms. I walked around aimlessly for 1 hour and finally got to Hemorrhoid Mora. He told me to defeat the nerd, I had to get the Rape Shout Part 3. To earn Rape Shout Part 3, I had to make the shaman of the village give up his search history to Hemorrhoid Mora. But before he could do that, I had to deactivate the mind-controlling stones. I wanted to say something funny because we're this much into the video. Bitch tits. There, I said it. Laugh. Past me thought, alright, that should be easy, just destroying massive dicks and killing lurkers. On the way to the last stone, I encountered several goblins and bandits, just waiting for a hunky man with Gucci drip to pass them by. They all started attacking me, so I ran away and destroyed the stone, but they caught up to me and called in their best friend Dragon, who was not happy, because I called him fat in middle school. So he unleashed hell on me that I didn't even know. But his attacks couldn't get past my Gucci drip, so he died, and so did all of his goblin and orc simps. I went back to the Skull Village and told him that he could give away his search history, since I had gotten rid of all the dick-like stones. Mora met up with the Shama to receive it, and upon looking, Mora was so disgusted at all the furry porn that he killed the shaman, slowly and painfully, like he deserved. Freya told me to open up the book and teleport back to Nerdland. I arrived and instantly I was greeted with sweaty little nerds who wanted to get into my DMs, but I didn't allow that. They were too weak for me and took an ass pounding that no one has ever seen before. I got through all the nerds and got close to almost dying a few times, but I was such a Chad that they died instantly, just by the sight of my off-brand Gucci Supremes. When I got to the final homework folder, I was greeted with another challenge. Can you beat Skyrim Dragonborn DLC with only your fists? And at the time, I was ready for some fisting, so I said yes. I aligned the books of tentacle no-nos, and then met Marak's pet that he definitely pulled a Shane Dawson on. This talking dragon flew me over to Marak, and I encountered Mr. Poopfart with a shit-eating grin on my face, because I had just got the fisting challenge. I heard his asshole wasn't big enough for the fisting coming his way. He said I wasn't good enough, just like my math teacher in algebra class. I was angry, so I started pounding him with my massive hands. I died maybe once or twice, but I'm gonna act like I died many more times, and I was going insane for playing a video game. After one time, I developed a strategy. It's called Operation Making Light of Domestic Abuse POOPSEX. In Operation Making Light of Domestic Abuse POOPSEX, basically my strategy is don't stay away from him and try to kill him from a range, because when you fist someone from 10 feet away, it doesn't work as well. I learned that the hard way. What you need to do is be really aggressive. Marak does so much damage to you that you need to get as much damage as possible on him, so that he doesn't destroy your rectum harder than burritos at Taco Bell. He supersized Big Mac my ass with his chain lightning spell, but my fisting was too much for him. Every time he got to a sliver of health, he made all the dragons die of diarrhea and sucked the life force out of them. Marat got all his health back and came back at me twice as hard, but he didn't know that I used a spell to make my hands twice as big. He wasn't ready for what was coming. I accidentally hit this guy with the most powerful sword in the game multiple times, but we'll just pretend that didn't happen. And to make you be quiet, here's a Bass Pro Shop gift card with the code on it. I kicked his ass a second time, and he sucked off all the other dragons, so he could go through more fisting sprees. And it seemed that he was starting to like it. I got through both of them in no time using Operation Making Light of Domestic Abuse POOPSEX. He died, and his body was sucked from a skeleton by Mr. Hemorrhoid. He told me that if I served him, I would be rewarded. I don't know what I would be rewarded with, but I was happy to accept anything. I was allowed to get rid of any skill I had for a reward, possibly. I tried to get rid of one of my skills, but then I remember I had no skills in life other than the ability to make that Gucci drip. I wasn't going to give that up. Miss me with that gay shit. I left this fever dream and returned to Solstheim, where I met up with Arender, who was completely useless this run. I met Frey, and she told me about her god, the All-Maker, wanting this to happen, and that she was the new shaman. She also asked if it was necessary for her father to give up his search history before he died. And I told her luckily it was an all-powerful being, because if any mortal saw that, they would die of disgust from all the furry fetish porn. Turns out you can beat Toadhauer with only your fists. This run was over, and morality was an all-time high, because I was not a grown man playing video games and making poop jokes for a living. This run was over, and I was exhilarated, because I didn't dedicate another 40 hours of my life to beating Skyrim again. Thank you guys for watching, and if this keeps going, I'm going to keep making parody videos. Disclaimer that Senza is actually a good, funny YouTuber. I would like to thank my non-existent patrons, because I'm not as much of a shekel stealer as Sam is, and you cuties for watching this video. Comment #POOPSEX, and I'll heart your comment if I can find it.